people on the online platform as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. And like, I just want to reiterate, that I just want to reiterate that, like if you do have the questions on everything, just go to Strike Mangang page and just write a comment underneath, and then we'll be able to read like your question or your comment on it. And also you can go to Bold Moves, on YouTube, just write a question and write like your comment or anything. We'll be able to respond to your questions and like your comments. Before we proceed again, so let me just like say, you know what, like it's a beautiful Thursday evening, and like I think our time now is like 18, like it's 12 minutes past like 18 or 12 minutes past 6 on the 16th of like September, like 2021. The Vibrant Corner, let me just give like a brief overview about it. The Vibrant Corner is about like, please, can you mute yourself? Thank you. I just wanted to say, like, the Vibrant Corner is all about like entrepreneurship, and like everything about entrepreneurship. And tonight, my guest, like as I said, is ANZA MUNTSWU. ANZA MUNTSWU is like one of the like young entrepreneurs, like in our country. And before we can proceed, I can just say, like, what? Entrepreneurship is just like the core of each and every country. According to a report generated by the Stats SA in 2018, South Africa generates roughly 54.2 million tons of general waste per year. Such waste is usually a combination of the municipal, commercial, and industrial sector. Out of this, like 54.2 million tons of waste, only about like 10% is recyclable. And that the rest of the 90% is dumped in the landfill sites, which has become like a growing concern for the Department of Environmental Affairs, which has like further indicates, that like the landfill sites consist of hazardous waste, types like ranging from mercury, asbestos, brine, oil spillage, and many more, which are toxic to human life and environment. Our waste management industry, as it stands, is simply not able to keep up with the high and increasing volumes of waste generated as our population grows. So according to the Sustainable Materials Management, it is more advisable to recycle materials as opposed to dumping them in the landfill sites, because like as a country, we are running out of space to create dumping sites. The approach of recycling puts much emphasis on the productive and like sustainable use of materials across like their entire life cycle, which minimizing the environmental impact. Recycling conserves like natural management like industry is currently worth like 25 billion rand, which makes it like a prudent game and in the economy. Basically, it is estimated that like South Africa has about 60,000 waste pickers and about like 300 waste recycling companies, varying from small enterprises to large scale. Today, we chat to ANZA MUNTSWU, who is a passionate entrepreneur who has long known that business is not only about like making profit, but rather than also change the lives of many by allowing them to create a sustainable income. ANZA is managing director of Green ZA Environmental Waste, which is situated like in like somewhere like in Venda, and yeah, he's my guest tonight. So welcome again once more.
Very welcome.
Welcome. So first and foremost, who is ANZA MUNTSWU, and where do you come from?
Okay. Yeah, that's a very difficult question. It's more like the question that is being asked in the formal job interview when they ask you to describe yourself. But I'll try to sum up everything in a very short space of a time. So, ANZA MUNTSWU, the love of life, believer, and I believe that life shaped me. So my story may just seem a bit generic, because everyone has a story to tell, and most of them look more or less the same. You understand? So
Yeah.
I'm from a village called Hamanavera village in Limpopo.
Okay.
So that's where I grew. I was born and bred there. So I started my primary school in Manavera village in a school called Nzuru, and then I went to pursue my high school grade in Rachkogwete Secondary School in Chitungulwane. And then on a later stage, I pursued my career in analytical chemistry at the University of Johannesburg. So I graduated with a national diploma in analytical chemistry. And later on in life, that's when I started my career as an analytical chemist, and then I joined a couple of companies, which some of them I won't mention, as an analytical chemist. And then today I stand in front of you as a water treatment chemist.
Thanks very much, and thanks for those for not mentioning those companies. Thanks, Mr. MUNTSWU. And again, for those who just joined us, you're on Bold Moves Radio. You can catch us www.boldmoves.org, or catch us on YouTube, which is Bold Moves Radio, and also catch us on Facebook, which is Pastor Strike Manganyi or Strike Manganyi. And yeah, that's it. You can catch us on those. As Bold Moves Radio, we say we're raising the flag high for an African child. So as we proceed, the time now is around I think 18 past 6. And I'm still with my guest here, ANZA MUNTSWU. He has already introduced himself. ANZA MUNTSWU from Amanabere, in Venda. I think my second question to you, Mr. MUNTSWU, is take us through your journey, as a recycler, as to how did it start, how did you start your Green ZA, environmental services work?
Okay.
Thank you.
I would be honest with you on this one. It was not in my blood growing up. I was once ignoring, every child would just throw things on the ground, not minding what it does to the environment. And there's that say that people like to use a lot, when you throw things on the floor, you're creating a job. You're creating jobs for people. And so
I know, yeah.
So I used to be one of them. So I used to be one of them. I was I'll throw things on the floor, and I'm creating jobs for people. So
yeah,
just to relate with what I was explaining earlier about my profession as an article chemist, my everything changed when I joined a water treatment company, because what I do, I clean water for living.
yeah.
So that's where most of the things began.
Yeah.
So yeah. So in that journey, that's where I see what the importance of cleaning the environment, why we should conserve the environment, why we should divert waste from going to the landfills, and how is it affecting our own villages, our own communities, our own township. I will tell you about the story. Growing up in the villages, we used to drink, we used to consume water from the river. I didn't consume much of it, but my grandmother will tell me a story of how she used to go to the river, collect water, bring it home, drink it, boil it. And I witnessed growing up when we used to go to the river to do laundries, car washing, and all of those things. But if I may pose a question to you, would you be able to drink water from a river today? You won't, because we are tending to confuse development with ignorance. Most of us are just ignorant lately. We don't care about the environment. You see that we left the use of using the old name, which is in my language, the malaria. So now we have the composting and all of those things, just dumping them in the river. You can't even go and bath in the river because it's more like very contaminated, which is why I feel as if we are confusing the development with that thing. So the journey of Green ZA started from there when I saw an opportunity. Like, we need to actually bring back a life to us, because if we're not going to conserve the environment, who else going to do it? Because we need that water, we need a cleaner space. Imagine now if they say they're bringing development in your village or in your town. I would say most of spaces in South Africa are not ready because it's very dirty, and there's no way that development will come if your space is very dirty. Like my village, it's not cleaner, but what we are trying to push is that we are trying to push development through a cleaning of environment and recycling, and we want to engrave it from the childhood, from the school, from the people who are ignorant, that the first thing that we need to do to be ready for the development is it's cleaning our environment. Growing up, I grew up as I wouldn't say an only child, but I was only child for a long period of time, and I didn't see anyone playing a role in me of engraving, recycling, conserving the environment, and so forth. So now when I'm a grown up, I need to take part into conserving the environment, which is why my team and I came up with an idea of opening a Green ZA to create job opportunities for youth in the villages, because you see people living their villages going to Johannesburg, Cape Town to look for a job, where else the jobs are there. And people usually go to Johannesburg to actually pick papers, where else they can do it at home. And I believe that we cannot develop village in 2 years' time, but we can do that by preparing it for the development.
Yeah. No, thank you, and thank you very much, Mr. MUNTSWU. And again, I think our time is now 24 past 6. You're on Bold Moves Radio. You find us on www.boldmovesradio.org, and on YouTube, you find us on Bold Moves Radio. And then on Facebook, you can find us on Strike Manganyi page. And my guest tonight is ANZA MUNTSWU, the managing director of Green ZA Enterprise. So as we proceed, I just want to understand, Mr. MUNTSWU, you see the recycling industry is one of the vast, in its nature. So perhaps tell us in layman's language, what is recycling and what sort of type of materials that you do recycle?
Okay. Maybe I should start with the term recycling. The term recycling, like what you just said, it's a vast, but recycling to Green ZA means reuse. Because everybody tends to run away from the term reuse and just jump into recycling. And if you're just gonna go to a recycling not understanding what it is, you actually miss out the point. You actually miss out the point. Imagine if now, the story that I was telling you about the nappies, if most of people were using were blending the development with the old style of nappies, we could have conserved the environment. So now, just because we are growing this technology and everything, when you drink water, you no longer save that bottles to use it for next time to pour water and put it in the fridge. We're no longer using the 2-liter bottles to make sprays. We have become we have just run away from the all of these things. To Green ZA, recycling means reuse. That is where we should all start.
No, thanks very much. Thank you very much, ANZA MUNTSWU. And again, for those who just joined us, our time is 26 minutes past 6. My name is TC Mabunda, You may be surprised, like, why is Pastor Strike not here? Like, we're using his platform today, like, to communicate, like, on this, like, the Vibrant Corner, which is like a new show on the Bold Moves Radio. And again, like, let me just like reiterate, if you want to listen to us, just go to www.boldmovesradio.org. And you can also find us on YouTube, which is like Bold Moves Radio. And on Facebook, you find us on Strike Bangai page. As we proceed, I would just like encourage our listeners, like in every corner, that, like whatever the comment or questions, they can post it on the page of Strike Bangai page, even on YouTube. Like we will be able, like our guests will be able to, like, to answer like to those questions as we proceed. And thanks very much. Like again, like my name I said, like it's TC Mabunda, and my guest is like ANZA MUNTSWU. MUNTSWU, let me now like ask this question. It's like difficult, but not difficult in that sense. What does like your daily routine looks like in the office? Like in terms of operation, and like maybe if like you don't mind like sharing, like how many people like have you employed?
Okay. I would say my daily schedule is bad as everybody's schedule. Because I'm still employed, and I'm not there on a daily basis to oversee the operation. But I've got a wonderful team, which to me, I call them a family, even though if most of them or some of them are not my family. But just because we started this thing with one vision, we call each other a family. So when it comes to that, I wouldn't say we have permanent employees as yet. Most of people that we still have are volunteers, and some of them are my family members. So in the daily operation of GreenZA, in the beginning, it wasn't nice, because you will get people to come join you and work, and then you will tell them that, guys, this is what I'm trying to achieve. When these things pull through, I'll make sure that you guys are okay, and so on. And along the way, a person will work for 1 week and then come to you and say, "Hey man, I tried the younger guy," and yeah, and that you haven't even seen what they've brought to what they've brought to the organization, and so forth. So we have had a lot of people that came in, joined. Most of them have left because they had so anticipation that this thing is gonna happen in a blink of an eye. So the operation is, for now, it's still a bit of an like each and every growing company. So we are still facing a couple of things, like the issue of finance, because we are the people that are funding. Yeah, we are the people that are funding the business from our own pocket. We run out of diesels. Like I would like even the truck to move by recyclables. Unfortunately, diesel, petrol, fuel is not recyclable. You understand? So the daily operation, I've got a wonderful team. With me that is doing a great, fantastic job, which I would like everyone to know about. That is why I ended up in the interview.
Thank you very much. Like, and again, like, let me say, like, it's like our time now is like 6:30 on the 16th of September, like 2021. You are with TC Mabunda, or my colleagues like to call me like Sir TC Mabunda. Let's just look at our Facebook like comments. We've got Charity Mwamvuleni Mnisi, say Reperile, and there's like Norman Mulomo, say good evening. And there's like Dumbi Grace Malux, like evening brethren. And then there's Popimu Famadi saying like preparing our environment for the development. And then there's Strike Manganyu saying like evening family, this Bold Moves radio program. The Vibrant Corner hosted by myself, we're talking about like opportunities like in recycling. And again, like I will just like reiterate, like my guest is like ANZA MUNTSWU, the managing director of Grain ZA Environmental Enterprise. Mudinda Kevin Wangana Arnda Ndanda Msanda. So going forward, you have mentioned, you know, about like the funds, and I would like to ask like this question. I'm not pretty sure like if you are pretty comfortable with it, you know, Mr. MUNTSWU. You know, most people of your age are interested in entrepreneurship, but do lack funds, you know, in getting the business like off the ground. But how did you manage, you know, to get this business, you know, started?
I need to read. Okay. So like it wasn't like an easy journey, and it's not an easy journey. So like every youngster, I had an anticipation that when I tap in the industry, everything is just gonna boom. There we are where we are. But these things, it needs passion, consistency, and patience. So I wouldn't say I was like, to be honest, I wouldn't say I was big privileged, because for me, starting this journey with my team, I am a full-time employee. So whatever that I had with me, I was using it to fund the organization. So what I would say to young people who want to start this thing is that, first of all, they have to do research of they have to do research. They have to reach out people. I even wore this a t-shirt by intentions. You know how we got this one, so that's how I met you.
Yeah.
So I would like people to reach out to people. Do not because if you're just gonna put yourself in a corner, you're not gonna learn. You're not gonna understand the operation of waste management industry. So in terms of funds, there are funds that are available from private companies and public institutions. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten one, so it's I'm sure patience is a virtue, and I'm still waiting on such success. So the person who any young entrepreneur that has to join this industry is that they have to do a research about waste management, about the type of the type of the material that they're looking for. Like there mustn't be like a person mustn't join this industry thinking that tomorrow I'm going to be driving a 63, tomorrow I'll be having this amount of money in my in my bank balance. To be honest, with me, I haven't been making an income ever since I started to. But because with me, it was not about money. It was more about the environment. It was more about bringing conscience to people. It was more about educating young ones in the villages that, hey guys, we need to conserve our environment so that we can be ready for future. Like if I may tell you the story about what we do in the villages, we use the so-called corner trenches. You will just pick up your rubbish, and then another building, you burn it. You're contributing to the pollution. You're actually burning something that can change someone else's life. You are actually burning things that are very precious to us. The young people need to engage with the people in the industry. They need to do their research. They need to educate people on how they should do the industry. That is the easy way to start a waste management organization. Because if you're just gonna think that you're just gonna invest money, you might just put all your money and then boom, tomorrow everything is not coming. nobody's bringing the waste to you. So you need to engrave the mindset of recycling to people. And if you're looking for funds, government will notice the work that you're doing, and then to go ahead and then you can tap the market.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Like my guest, like tonight, it's like ANZA MUNTSWU, Managing Director of Green ZA, Environmental Waste. And the host tonight, like it's like myself, TC Mabunda. Like the radio is Bold Moose Radio. You can find us on YouTube, which is like Bold Moose Radio. You can also find us on Facebook on Pastor Strike Manganyi's page, which is Strike Manganyi. And as we proceed, I'm pretty much like interested, Mr. Moose, before we can go further. Still, like I have like a couple of questions like for you. What then do we recycle? Because like you have mentioned, yes, I've heard you've mentioned like where we've met, like me and yourself, like I can't even like remember, but anyway, like what do we recycle then, is there like any difference like in recycling, like just like a piece of paper, a piece of plastic, I mean, like, let me just like, I know they haven't paid us, like a plastic from Coca-Cola, is it different to a plastic from Woolworth, or, just to give an example, in terms of recycling these materials? Because like this recycling in the rest, like this seems to be very broad, as like you're explaining it.
So I would say from Green ZA point of view, I would say everything is recyclable. Okay, why so? If you can look in the where I am from, Venda is an agriculture space which most people are not thinking about it. If you can check, we throw the food in the bin, contaminate all the recyclables. When I'm talking about the recyclables, I'm talking about plastic. Any plastic can be recyclable. I'm talking about glass bottle. I'm talking about paper. I'm talking about boxes. And then I'm also talking about food. We can actually also recycle food. How do we do that? We can use the food for so-called manure, which are compost. So if you can gather your organic food and mix them together, incubate them for a couple of days, you can actually end up with manure or manure, which you can use it to improve the fertility of the soil. So when we're talking about recycling, everything can be recycled. If you can look what Levi's is doing today, they are using a PET to recycle to manufacture the jeans. They are using like I've also seen these other companies that are using a PET to make an artificial grass.
Yeah.
And then so everything in a point of view of Green ZA is recycling.
Before I can lose you there, Mr. Mutsu, what is PET?
PET, it's the like those Coke bottles. Like chibote like ziva zo pambana na ziklasi in different classes. So you get your white PET, which is your clear bottle, and then you get the green PET, which is your lemon lemon twist drink bottles, and then you also have the gray one, which are the stony bottles. Yes.
Oh no, thanks for that clarity again. Like let me just look at my time. Like we're around like 90 minutes to 6. 90 minutes to 7 o'clock. So like again, like as I said, if you do have like questions for our guest, just write it on Strike Manganyi page on Facebook, and our guest will be able to answer like those questions. Let me check like on our Zoom. There is a question there by like, but the legend himself, Strike Manganye, like he's asking, when is this program airing, like, in a week? This program, like, Vibrant Corner will be airing like every Wednesday, like, same time, same place. Every Wednesday, 6 o'clock, you get this program. It will be like a Vibrant Corner. It may have like a different host, because we're just trying to be like vibrant as much as possible, and I see like on our Zoom, there's like Miss Maina Basani Mkavele. We're learning so much about recycling. Thank you, Basani. Basani is like male and guardian, like woman of the year, like in space of, like ESS and so forth. So as we proceed, then again, like you can find us like on Strike Manganyo on Facebook, Bold Moves Radio on YouTube. My name is Tisi Mabunda, and then my host is ANZA MUNTSWU, Managing Director of Green ZA Environmental Waste Enterprises. As we proceed, Mr. MUNTSWU, and like you did mention the issue about like, the different types of PET and so forth. I just want to know, like in your company or enterprise, do you also like do you also like take like all like like your steel, like the different type of steel, like in terms of like aluminum, like steel, there's like a lot of different type of like TMB, I don't know if was vendor, So do you also like get those?
So far, we haven't launched our buyback center. We are planning to launch it very soon. We'll make it. We will make an awareness of when we wanna launch it. So we do collect the TMB and TMB, the PET plus and so forth.
Yeah.
So like in the metal side, we take things like your aluminum cans, which is in the Scotty that's called ranking. We take the normal tin, which is the tin fish, and then we also do the mild steel, the normal steels, and then we haven't tapped much into the team because it's because the scars will end up our.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Mutsu. I think like maybe that leads me to the next question, like, but what are the challenges, that you are finding like in that space, or in the recycling business, like generally, like what are the challenges that you can sort of like share with our listeners, or viewers, wherever they are, like what are those challenges that you can say, or maybe, like stipulates like these have been my challenges in this business?
Okay. The first challenge and the most one it's finance. Like what I said previously, the vehicles doesn't use recyclables to run, like petrol, diesel are not recyclable, and we do up and downs to find our materials. As I've mentioned previously, Aritu Wana a buyback center, meaning that we have to do most of up and down looking for materials. We even go further to places like Malamlele, Kandu, and that side, them to look for the recyclable. And for us, just uto chakuwa from point A to point B, it means you need finance, you need resources, you need fuel, you also need manpower, and manpower doesn't come for free, because people even if they just help you to pick up a saga from here to there, they are expecting the payment, which is why I was telling you already. So far, the most thing work face at Ajo is finances, but I expected it and anticipated, and we are still young and growing. So another thing that I think the recycling industry can face it it's people giving you stolen goods, and tomorrow people might come and be claiming, hey, it's, this is an old fridge from Seppo's house and stuff like that. And like it's things that
Yeah.
you have to be ready for it and then prepare, and then you also have to do your risk analysis in order for you to mitigate such factors.
I know. No, I'm laughing because like you already touched on my next question about like stolen goods, But we'll come to that.
Okay.
We'll come to that one, like Mr. MUNTSWU. Again, like let me just remind our listeners, like our viewers, that our time now is like 30 minutes to 30 minutes to 7. And my guest is ANZA MUNTSWU, Managing Director of Green ZA Environmental Waste Enterprises, and your host tonight is like TC Mabunda. You can find us like at www.boldmovesradio.org. On YouTube, you can find us like a Bold Moves Radio. And then on Facebook, you find us on Strike Mangai page. You can like post your questions, your comments under like that page. And then like our host will be able like to answer like the questions. I think like on our show now, we're like just left with like 13 minutes. So, Mr. Mr. MUNTSWU, you have like title on like stolen goods. Time and again we hear reports of cable thefts, and other materials, that are allegedly sold to recycling companies. I think like personally for myself, I would say like I've learned the new word today. You now call it like buyback centers. In our times, I'm just exposing my age now. Our time we call it like scrap yards, where we just like go and sell stuff, Arrange Fandara will just like take the pot and take it to those buyback centers and then just get 2 runs and stuff and buy food. But like now,
Okay.
like I've understand like you call it buyback centers and so forth. So time and again, we do hear like those reports of cable thefts and like other materials, sold to recycling companies. Tell us, like, do you have like any mitigating factors, to like in place, to ensure that like you're not found like in trouble with the law?
Okay. Yeah. So far, we haven't been in a case where Rono reported or these were stolen goods. But we have policies already in place to protect us from such things. Like if we look in this industry, the most valuable thing that people report it's a copper. It's a copper chain a cable because it's one of the precious metals. So what we do, what we do or what we have done is that anyone who is bringing a precious or a valuable item to us must show us a proof of ownership. If so, we won't be able to assist you. And then if there's anything that we can do, we can also report you anonymously to the police so that we can prevent such things from happening to someone, because tomorrow someone might steal from steal from someone else, and then how does it affect Greenza? People might be thinking, well, okay, that's where they're taking things. So to mitigate such factors, we will also use our law enforcement to report people who are bringing such things without a proof of ownership. How we're gonna do that? We're gonna do an anonymous reporting that we saw somebody carrying such and such and such.
No. Thank you, MUNTSWU. And thank you very much. I think like that's also, like I'm sort of like relieved, because like just like receiving anything and everything. If my TV gets stolen, I know that, like maybe I don't like your place. It won't be just like sold like that easily. And like just like for those who have just joined us, you are on the Vibrant Corner with like TC Mabunda. And my guest is like ANZA MUNTSWU of Green ZA Environmental Enterprises. And the host, like the show, as I said, like it's Vibrant Corner. We are available on YouTube, as Bold Moves Radio, Facebook, we are on Strike Mangai page. And yeah, And like, if you want to stream live or listen live, just go to that website that I given you, like underneath, www.boldmovesradio.org. I've got a question here. It's from a listener, Pinyeko Mangai. I'm sorry, I have to. It's posted. They're asking. I'm sorry, Mr. MUNTSWU. The question is like, are you available? I'm just like assuming that, like, are you available as if, are you singing? You know, I know it's like, it's off topic, but the question is like,
legally, I'm single.
okay, but technically,
technically, I'm not. I'm I'm with someone, and she's a very supporting. She's the one that also helped me to do the setup of interview and everything. So unfortunately, Nico Mangani, I would have to look out for a person that I can give to her.
I know. I'm sorry, Mr. MUNTSWU, but that was
No,
fun. But anyway, like, it's our guest, you know. Like, I'm sorry to, but yeah, look, one critical aspect, you know, that we need to take into cognizance is the, like, September, especially between the 15th and the 18th, is like National Recycling Week. You know, and globally, it's like World Cleanup Day. I see, like, we have worn the T-shirt there, like the ocean conservancy and like and so forth. You know, please, like, just in a nutshell, you know, like, I think like we're running out of time. Like in 2 minutes.
Okay.
What does that mean? You know, like, what can you advise, you know, to the youth, you know, in terms of like recycling and so forth?
Okay. What I can advise to also is that people needs to join people who are doing campaigns, needs to reach out to companies that have been in the industry for a very long time, because they can even support you. They can even support you in terms of plastics. I will also show you something that they gave me. They supported us with a plastic bag to do a campaign. We've been hosting a campaign in my villages from different schools. We will also be hosting another one at Chawero at 12 o'clock. And then I would also like to thank people who have been assisting me to do such thing. I would also thank Anna Matoko from CSIR. She is the one that was also pushing this agenda as well. And my team for setting up everything. So what youth can do is that they have to come. They can even come join us when we're doing this thing, because we are not making anyone pay. We're doing it for free of charge, so that we can engrave the mindset of recycling in people and conserving the environment.
No, thank you. Like, our time now is like 5 minutes to 7. We've got like 5 minutes left into the show. My host, like, I'm my host, like your host tonight is like Chisi Mabunda, and my guest is ANZA MUNTSWU, Managing Director of Green ZA and Environmental Enterprises. And your radio is Bold Moves Radio, you know, raising the flag high for an African child. Bomuntu. The time now, like, we're running out of time, you know. I've got a question, you know, from like my WhatsApp line that talks to the 3 R's. I know, like, we're done, but I think like the 3 R's that they're referring to your recycle, reuse, or reduce. What is the correct way of dealing with the 3 R's? You know, do I recycle first? Like, I'm just like trying to, the question was just like, what is the principle concerning to the 3 R's? But I'm just like assuming like our listener is like referring to like, how then do we deal with the 3 R's? Because like we tend to use like haphazardly, you know, start maybe with recycling or start with reusing and reducing and so forth. And like, as you know, like an expert in that field, how then do we use like these 3 R's?
Okay, so usually the 3 R's determine reduce, reuse, and recycle. But what I can advise to people, I don't want as I'm standing for Greenza, I don't want to limit people. I would prefer the 3 R's to start from: reuse, reduce, and recycling. Reason being is that we are the world is growing, and then we cannot stop such things from happening. So what people can do, they can just start from reusing, and then if you cannot reuse, and then try to reduce, and then if you cannot reduce, then come to us, Greenza, and we recycle.
I see what you did there, like marketing your own business. No. No, thanks, Mr. MUNTSWU. Again, like it's like 3 minutes to 7 o'clock, and today is like the 16th of September in 2021. Still with like TC Mabunda, and my guest tonight is ANZA MUNTSWU, Managing Director of Green ZA. I cannot thank you enough, Mr. MUNTSWU, for teaching us like about like recycling and so forth. Like I've learned about like the PETs. I've learned about like the struggles and so forth that like we've met like along the way. I've learned about like your sponsors, your Plastic SA, and so far. So like those plastic bags. It's quite inspiring, for like, a young person of your age, to be going to that direction, because like nowadays people are just going in like tech, if it's not phones, it's shoes, if it's not shoes, it's like apps and so forth, So let me thank you once again. We just left with like 2 minutes, and let me just like check on my Zoom. There is like Victor Manavera. He's saying like big ups to the great works, wishing you all the best. Okay, like I've already like read, Basani, so like we're launching, like we're learning about, and there is like Anna Mutapo who's saying like thanks for the work you are doing in the recycling space. ANZA, me Anna Mutapo is like thank you for that work that you're doing in the recycling space. Like I have to admit, to myself that like, it's not everyone's dream to just go and get their hands like deep in the space. So for myself, like Mr. MUNTSWU, thanks very much, for giving us like time, to go in that space, and also like sharing like your experience, like the trials and the tribulations that like you're encountering in that space. So as let me just like on Facebook, I don't have like anything. Maybe like my phone would like, update like quickly, but as a parting point, like your parting like words, what could you say? I think like the president, or like we might have seen, that like we are currently on sitting like on 32.5% in terms of unemployment. Bearing that in mind, the unemployment rate, what would be your advice in general, to the youth, and also like those who are beyond 35 and so forth, to the resident of South Africa?
Yeah. What I can say is that we know, like everybody is aware that where they are or where they are from is not clean. For me, it started with picking a paper, start with picking a bottle, start with picking a plastic. If you see that, oh, I've got a lot of material, go sell it and make money. Easy as that. Because you like it mustn't be a mindset of want to make money. It must start with the mindset of changing the life of the next person. If you pick up a paper, you are contributing to the green economy. You are contributing to the green world. And then if you're fortunate, and then you get more materials, because the recycling is more about volumes, then you can start to make money.
Yeah. No, thanks very much. I see. Okay, quickly on our Zoom, there is like Mr. Believe in Tuli. He's saying like you're raising the Limpopo flag. Hi, my man. Okay, that's Mr. Believe in Tuli. He's saying like we could raise Limpopo flag. Hi, Mr. MUNTSWU. Before we let you go, please share us with like how can people like get hold of you? The information like your socials. I think like in your language today, you call it like the socials and so forth. I think they're referring to your YouTube, your Insta, and like your Facebook, Twitter. Do you have like anything where people can reach you on, Mr. MUNTSWU?
Yeah. Like people can reach us on Greenza Environmental Services. It's either on Facebook or on Instagram. And then if you wanna take the conversation further, you can also just send me a message, and then I can share you my numbers, and then we can talk on WhatsApp or telephonic conversation.
Okay, and then what's your number?
My number is 073
073
60
60
34
34
161.
161. Let me repeat it, for our listeners, our viewers, like wherever they are, it's still Bold Moves Radio. It's on our Thursday evening, the 16th of September, 2021. Bold Moves Radio is like your radio station. Like you find us on YouTube on Bold Moves Radio, Facebook. You find us on Strike Manganyi page. So the number of our guests tonight is like 073. Please correct me if I'm wrong. 073 603 4161.
That's correct.
Is that correct, Mr. Mutsu?
Sure.
No, thank you very much. I would just iterate, on Facebook, if you want to reach Mr. MUNTSWU, it's like Green ZA Environmental Services. Instagram, it's Green ZA Environmental Services. And like the number, if you want to, like WhatsApp or anything, like ask questions, it's 073 603 4161. And my guest has indicated that, you can call between 7 and 8, 8 and 5, yeah, as he mentioned earlier that, is technically available. How did you put it, like Mr. Mutsu? You are technically unavailable, but but something like that, so yeah.
Yes, legally.
Yeah, you can proceed.
Legally, I am available. Technically, I'm not.
Yeah, no, like is iterating himself, like is legally available but technically unavailable. Thank you very much, and thanks everyone across South Africa and Africa. This is Bold Moves Radio. We're raising a flag high for an African child. Tonight's guest was ANZA MUNTSWU, Managing Director of Green ZA Environmental Services. They deal with recycling. They recycle like PET, bottles, steels. They are not currently not a buyback center, but working towards that direction. Thank you very much, Mr. MUNTSWU, for being with us tonight. And we really appreciate your time. And thank you once more. I salute you.
And I would like to thank the participants and everyone who made this possible. And a big thanks to my team, my family, and the person who took me technically.
Thank you, MUNTSWU, and thank you, ANZA. And I just want to thank my team also. Thanks, brothers, Mungwayi, Desmond Madrume, Mungwayi. Thanks, Mr. Believe Ntulu. Thanks, Basan Mkabere. Thanks, Strike Manganyi, Pastor Strike Manganyi, and thanks to everyone on YouTube. Thanks to everyone on Facebook, for your comments, and WhatsApp and so forth. Thank you very much. And till we meet again next week on the Vibrant Corner, we're out. Cheers. We're raising the flag high for an African child. Thank you. Bye. Cheers.